Got a good show for y'all tonight. Reacting to Donald Trump and Hakeem Jeffries. If you don't, golly, let's see. If you don't know, we are in a government shutdown. Yes, we are. Partial. It's not on the same level as it was before at this point, but any shutdown is not good. Yeah, so everybody that joined me for the walk down, appreciate y'all for coming through. Got a good show today. We got Donald Trump in the Oval Office, and he taking questions, and then we got Jeffries, talking. So we're about to get ready to react to that. I got everything ready to rock and roll, and we ready to go. It's 8:20. I'm probably about 15 minutes off because I kind of want to get done with this by 9 or 9:15. We're going to try to let a few people get in. It's a lot going on, man. We got more Epstein files coming out. Everybody is in the files, man. All kind of weird stuff. Now they're saying, what's his name? Jamie Foxx is in the Epstein files.
The Supreme Court Justice, too, the black man, the only black Supreme Court Justice.
That old man?
Yep.
I can't think of his name. But a lot of people are in those files. Like I've been saying this a long time, way since last year. I mean, everybody's in those files, bro. Everybody you could think of are in those Epstein files. So I'm not surprised that Jay-Z is in the files. I'm surprised that they haven't said Dame Dash name yet. Because if you've been on this channel, I was already saying Dame Dash, Jay-Z, all these people, all your favorite rappers. If he's not your favorite rapper, he's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. All of them. Like I say all the time on the channel, those guys, those rappers back in the 90s when we were young, Donald Trump and all these guys were their mentors. Those Donald Trump, Bill Gates, etc., etc., etc. Ray Diablo were all these rappers' father figures. Let's don't get it twisted. They were looking up to these guys because they were the billionaires at the time. And they were looking to get knowledge, wisdom, about business. And also not just about business, but they were trying to put the rap, the hip hop on a whole nother level. And they needed these guys, to not only give them the game, but also invest in them. Yeah. So I'm not surprised, guys. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying it for over a year. When it was saying Donald Trump is on the Epstein file, bro, everybody's on the Epstein files, man. Everybody. Just about everybody that got any kind of wealth that's around my age are on the Epstein files, are in the Epstein files, knew these guys personally. So I'm not surprised. And guess what? It's going to be more people that come out. There's going to be more people in these Epstein files, So we just got to sit back and don't be surprised if your favorite rapper or your favorite basketball player end up in the Epstein files. So, I appreciate y'all for joining. We got 58 people in the building. I need y'all to do me a favor and double tap the screen. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. We have a pretty good show that we're going to do tonight. We're going to react to Donald Trump in the Oval Office, and we're going to react to Hakeem Jeffries, speak about the significance of this shutdown this time. So I appreciate y'all for joining me. Just sit back and kick it. You know what I'm saying? This is the intro to the show. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. I need y'all to do me a favor and hit that like button, so we can get people in the building. Hit the like button, put on your notifications, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And we about to get the show started. So give me a second, chat, while I get everything set up, everything set up, ready to go. So I can see everybody that's commenting right now. I appreciate y'all for commenting. And we about to get ready to rock this show. So just sit back and enjoy. Okay. Here we go. We got 100 people in the building. Thank y'all for coming through. Let's go.
We're investing in mining projects. We're expediting federal permitting. The federal permitting, and a lot of it is Lee Zeldin has been fantastic, but federal permitting is such a big deal. And we're doing that. The permitting of mines and signing major critical mineral deals with countries from all over the world, and we're getting along with all of them. Every one of them, they want to be in the proper position. We're working very well with countries from all over the world. Today, we're building on these achievements with this vital new reserve. And now I would like to ask Ex-Im Chairman John Yovanovitch to say a few words, followed by our friends from business in Congress. We'll go over that. But we have some great business leaders, the best, here today. And John, if you would start it off, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. The President gave us a very clear directive. By clear directive, it was much more of an order for us to figure out how to, for the first time in American history, create a strategic critical minerals reserve in a way that would benefit the non-military manufacturing complex. And the challenge was enormous, not simply because it had never been done before, Mr. President, but we knew that you expected us to deliver in a big way, in a way that was scalable, in a way that was designed for long-term success, and in a way that would help revitalize our domestic mining industry. But most importantly, most crucially, that it not be subsidized by American taxpayers. And so that's exactly what we've done. Mr. President, what you've announced today is a truly uniquely American solution. It brings together our capital markets, which are the best and biggest in the world, with our manufacturers, our innovators, our miners, all pitching in to make this possible. Now, these things don't happen without the best and the brightest within industry being at the table. And Mr. President, everyone wants to engage with this administration, with your administration. The key ingredient here was your call to action. Your call to action allowed us to bring together the best players in the market, sometimes the fiercest competitors, getting them to work together to come up with a creative solution. Now, in addition to our great team at the Export-Import Bank, who worked around the clock, led by Brian Greeley, Jeff Wilson, Sarah Whitten, many others, we benefited from having the biggest manufacturing CEOs, the smartest market players at the table, all looking to solve this problem. So what we have with Project Vault is marrying the capital solution with what we need when we need it most. And the best part about it is that the American taxpayer will earn a return on financing the first ever strategic critical minerals reserve in history. And we thank you, Mr. President, for allowing this to happen. All of the people around us today help make it possible. Our cabinet secretaries, our top CEOs, their teams, top market players, whether it be GM, GE Vernova, Boeing, Clarios, Google, Mercurio, especially Brian Fallick, Hartree, Traxxas, our friend Robert Friedland. All of us work together, Mr. President, to deliver this for you, and for the American people, so that manufacturers and workers all across the country can rest assured they'll have what they need when they need it most.
So, and you're covering everything with this. We're not just doing certain minerals and rare earths. We're doing everything.
Everything on a critical
What about
list.
magnets?
We're focused on the critical raw materials, and we anticipate that led by our great manufacturers, will help breed even more solutions.
Great job. Thank you very much. Doug Burgum, please.
Mr. President, again, I want to echo what John said, which is a great thank you to you. You've set the direction, and when you took office, you've done more in the last year for mining and minerals in our country, perhaps than any president in history. Just like drill, baby, drill, you said mine, baby, mine. And what's happened in our country is you've led us through deals with equity deals for the first time. The United States of America is driving equity deals to help sustain and balance this market. You unlocked Alaska with the Amber Road project. That opened up over 1,700 mining claims in Alaska. And of course, on beautiful clean coal, we've got critical minerals that are co-located with that coal, and we've unlocked that. The Biden administration did 0 coal leases during the last 4 years. You've done hundreds of millions of tons of coal leases. That's going to help drive electric prices down in America. Permitting, you mentioned this in your remarks. There was some permits that had lingered for 29 years. They got done in 4 months last year under your administration. And under your emergency authorities, some of these permits got done in as short as 12 days. You helped create a club of nations to help balance out the fact that we didn't have markets that were functioning around critical minerals. You led off with Australia, Japan, Korea, Saudi Arabia, and Thailand. This week we'll announce 11 more countries that are joining that club of nations as part of this global coalition. And behind that in the pipeline, there's 20 more nations that want to join under your leadership to allow for trade of critical minerals. And then here we stand today with the teamwork that was described. This would not have been possible without incredible cabinet that you put together. Marco Rubio, Scott Bessent, Howard Lutnick, Chris Wright, and many others were involved in bringing this together through the vision. Standing with us today are some of our chairmen of our great congressional leadership who also have supported this and helped us find a way to do this without any appropriations. This is happening without tax dollars. And of course, our team on the ground here at the White House, including David Copley and everybody else at the NSC, David leading the global supply chain work, the folks working with the Ex-Im Bank team, working around the clock to make all this happen. So again, when you lead, when you put out a challenge, the teamwork happens. And then here we stand today. This is the largest Ex-Im Bank deal in the history of the Ex-Im Bank by more than double. And this is going to help drive national security. It's great for American manufacturers. It's great for American workers. Congratulations, President Trump.
Thank you. You're doing a fantastic job, Doug. Thank you. Could I ask Mary Barra, the chairman CEO of General Motors, which is setting records every single day, and she's doing a fantastic job, to say a few words and also discuss how good the car business is now in the U.S., please.
Well, Mr. President, I want to thank you for your commitment to strengthening U.S. manufacturing and supporting the auto industry. Also want to thank your cabinet and members of Congress and the whole team here that made this possible today.
Before we continue, chat, we got 163 people in the building. First off, I'd like to thank each and every last one of y'all for coming and joining the show. Thank y'all. I hope y'all having a great night. Double tap the screen for me if you haven't done it yet. Double tap the screen as we continue with the show. Double tap the screen and hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel and turn on all your notifications. Appreciate y'all for joining me. I hope y'all having a great night. Let's continue with the show.
Resilient supply chain is critical for our nation, and it's critical for all industry, especially the auto industry. We have been strengthened with many of the different policies that have been put in place over the last year. So I want to thank everybody for that. It not only supports U.S. manufacturing, it supports job creation, it also supports the consumer. So thank you. And business is held very strong. We still see a strong consumer, so I'm excited about 2026.
I think it's going to be a record with all of your new plants opening up and everything else in our country. So in our country.
Robert?
Please.
Mr. President, thank you so much for what you've achieved. Everything we touch, we either grew it agriculturally and you've helped the farmers, or we mined it. All these cameras you see in front of you, they were mined. Every time you pick up a hand phone, it was mined. And so stimulating the ability for the miners in this country to help you industrialize the country, they're the salt of the earth, and we're super excited that America is doing something for not only our national security, but for the reindustrialization of the country, because you can't reindustrialize Detroit with a lot of metal, And I'm telling you on behalf of every miner I know, they're elated at the breakthroughs that have been achieved here. They'll make a lot more cameras in the future. And maybe you can help us teach everybody that everything you touch like that, somebody mined it. And we need your support, and we're really happy to get it.
And congratulations, you're in the Hall of Fame. Is that the Rare Earth Hall of Fame or Mineral?
There's a bunch of pictures of dead guys that go back to Herbert Hoover, who was a miner. Mining's down to 1% of the S&P 500, but really everything you touch needs mining. And this is the first administration, with your support, where we've got hope. We can go out and really do it. So, as I last met you in Saudi Arabia with Mohammed bin Salman. We're working in Chile.
Right.
We want to bring these metals back to the United States and refine them and use them right here. And the vision of this administration, Howard Lutnick's been helping a lot. A lot of people at Exim Bank have been helping a lot. I'm just telling you, the morale of the miners is sky high.
Doing a great job. Thank you very much. Congratulations. That's a big deal. Thank you. How about French Hill? Say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, on behalf of Congress, Chairman Westerman can talk about how he's helped unleash the ability to mine through permitting reform. And Senator Marino and I serve on the House Financial Services Committee and Senate Banking Committee. And we're best in this country when we take the private sector and we leverage it to unleash the directions that you're made. And so together with our reauthorization of the Exim Bank, we leverage that resource with private sector dollars to make this a success. And it's going to be a huge strategic change in America's industrial capacity.
Big difference, right?
Big difference.
There's never been really anything like what we're doing. Bernie, please.
Not to be hyperbolic, but if you hadn't been elected, the auto industry in America would be over.
The
It would be
country would be
completely over.
The country would be over.
Well, but the auto industry would have been gone first. What the Democrats had done with electric vehicles, the mandates, what you were able to accomplish last year, Secretary Lutnick, what Secretary Bassett was able to do with your leadership has transformed the auto industry. And I tell you, it's never been better for people in the auto industry. I hear it from all my friends. They are elated. And the worst part is that the people that you really saved were the car dealers in California, and New York, and New Jersey, right?
And they fought me all the way, Mary, right? They fought me all the way, and now they're saying thank you very much. But you're doing a great job. Thank you, Bernie. Scott?
Sir, as you always say, economic security is national security, and a country does not have sovereignty if we don't have control of our critical minerals, don't have control of our steel production and our industrial base. And thanks to the work of everyone here through your leadership, this was a public-private partnership that only you could have assembled, and we are taking back our sovereignty, and we are going to have this Vault project, a strategic mineral reserve. And I can't tell you how innovative and exciting this is, and the level of security it is going to give us going forward is phenomenal.
And how is your new, and I think new and improved Fed chairman doing? How's that all going?
So he's off to a great start.
I think so.
He had so much built-in credibility, and as the American people, smart people, like the Representative Hill, the Senator Marino, they already knew him, and as the American people get to know him, the important thing is that they will be able to trust the Federal Reserve to steer the economy for them.
He's going to do great. Howard, please.
So, prior presidents took America for granted. They let our critical minerals only be controlled by China. They let our mining business go to hell by closing all the mines, closing our coal plants while China opened them. They let our auto industry, right? We used to produce 75% of our cars in America, and when Biden left, it was below 50%. We were just letting all of these industries just be shredded from America. And thank goodness you are in this chair, changing it and taking it back. We are taking back critical minerals. We are taking back mining. We're taking back the auto industry. You're going to watch us take back pharmaceuticals. We're going to take back semiconductors. None of this could possibly happen without your leadership. And it is the most fun to stand back here with your leadership because we are changing America back and making it great again.
That's very true. Anybody would like to say anything else?
Amen to that.
You guys okay? Everything all right?
Chairman?
Well, thank you, Mr. President.
Such a good man. Go ahead.
A great day, and it couldn't have happened without your leadership. And I think people will be talking about this for a long time. because we're bringing back American mining and American manufacturing. You know, God blessed our country with abundant resources. Secretary Burgum talked about the Ambler Road. 49 critical minerals that can be mined in sufficient quantities just in that one area, but from northern Minnesota, Arizona, my home state of Arkansas, we are blessed with all these minerals. They're just in the ground. But when we get them out of the ground and not only mine them, but refine them and process and manufacture with them, it'll unleash great wealth for our country. And that'll just build on all the other successes. So thank you for what you've done. It's a great day.
And how does it feel to be in the Oval Office? Is that crazy? Were you ever here?
No, I've never been here, sir, but it's fantastic. All the
Mary's
gold.
been here a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a special place. Never been so beautiful either. Yeah, questions, please.
Mr. President, speaking of the Fed, would you like to see Janine Pirro drop the investigation into Chairman Powell to help? Senator Tillis has basically said that, you know, he's not going to really be working
That's
with the
why he's not a
administration
senator very
to help
soon.
bring work. So would you like to see the investigation?
No, she's going to take it to the end and see. Like, you're doing a small renovation, and they've spent almost $4 billion doing a small renovation. I'm doing buildings. I built a hotel, the Waldorf it's called, and I did it for around $200 million. It's a much bigger job. They're spending almost, it could be $4 billion. I'll tell you what, I don't even see an end in sight. I feel badly for the new Fed chairman because he may not have an office for 4 years. I don't know what these people are doing. So it's either gross incompetence or it's theft of some kind or kickbacks. I don't know what it is, but Janine Pirro is incredible and she'll figure it out. But no, you want to take it and just find out what happened, because we can't go around doing a renovation of a small little complex, very small, a couple of little buildings, and spend billions and billions of dollars on it. Something went wrong. We have to find out what it was. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, thank you. Speaking of renovations, you announced you wanted to build a new and spectacular entertainment complex at the Kennedy Center.
Right.
Do you plan on tearing it down, and how much will all of the renovations cost?
Probably around $200 million. And, you know, it's funny, in real estate and building, I've done so much of it. I've done so well with it. You want to sit with something for a little while before you decide on what you want to do. And, you know, we sat with it. We ran it. It's in very bad shape. It's run down. It's dilapidated. It's sort of dangerous. Things fall out of ceilings. You've seen it. And we had some big events there. We had a lot of great events there over the last year, but you can't do any work because people are coming in and out, and you have the workmen. We have a marble man over there the other day. He said, you know, every time I put down a piece of marble, people are stepping on the marble. They don't even have time to dry. And you can't do the same quality job if you close it, and, you know, we're fully financed. And so we're going to close it, and we're going to make it unbelievable, far better than it ever was. And we'll be able to do it properly. I was thinking maybe there's a way of doing it simultaneously, but there really isn't. And we're going to have something that when it opens, it's going to be brand new, beautiful. I'm not ripping it down. I'll be using the steel. So we're using the structure. We're using some of the marble, and some of the marble comes down. But when it's open, it'll be brand new and really beautiful. It'll be at the highest level. We can do a much better job, probably in a way a faster job in terms, you know, because when you do it piecemeal, for instance, they have a play tonight, and you can't do anything. You have to pull out everything, and you can't have stanchions all over the place, so people are walking in to see a play. So we'll be closing it sometime around July 4th. It's like we'll close it on July 4th in order to do something great for America, and then we're going to build it. We have great contractors. We're going to build it, and we'll do it right. We're using the highest grade marbles, the highest grade everything. It'll be brand new. Tremendous carriers putting in the air conditioning, or I guess they're a bidder, but they're probably going to get it. Carrier. We're going to have all brand new air conditioning, heating. The steel will all be checked out because it'll be fully exposed. You know, it's been up for a long time, but as anybody knows, it was in very bad shape. Wasn't kept well before I got there. So we're going to make it. I think there won't be anything like it in the country.
Sir, Mr. President?
Yeah, please.
About your meeting with President Petro later this week, he's been quite critical of you since you spoke back in January after the Maduro raid. What would you like to hear from him tomorrow in terms of drug trafficking in Venezuela? What are your expectations?
I mean, he's been very nice over the last month or two. He was certainly critical before that, but somehow after the Venezuelan raid, he became very nice. He changed his attitude very much. So No, I look forward to seeing him. He's coming in. We're going to be talking about drugs because tremendous amounts of drugs come out of his country. And I look forward to see. We're going to have a good meeting. Yeah.
Mr. President,
Steve
Witkoff is going to be the Iranian foreign minister on Friday. What are you hoping he'll get out of that meeting?
Well, you're going to have a lot of things are happening. You have Iran, and you have Russia, Ukraine, and you have the Middle East. We have a lot of things going. A lot of problems were here for a long time before I got here. We settled 8 wars, and I think we're doing very well with Ukraine and Russia. For the first time, I'm saying that. I think we're going to maybe have some good news. We're losing 25,000 people a month are being killed in that war, ridiculous war. 25,000. It was 31,000 last month. Think of it. Young, beautiful kids, the kids of parents, their parents. It doesn't affect us in one way, but in another way, it's 25,000 souls that if I can solve it, we're not spending money like Biden did. He gave $350 billion away. I make everyone pay. And the United Nations, they're a little bit involved, but if you take a look at what's happening, the countries of Europe are paying us for the weapons. So we have NATO paying, we send missiles over there, they pay us in full. It doesn't cost us 10 cents. And we make money, I guess, but I don't even want to talk about that because what I really want to do is save those people from dying. They lose, Mary, can you imagine 25,000 to 30,000 people a month? That's like a stadium full of people every single month. And, I was blessed with something where I can get these things done. Got 8 of them done. I thought all 8 were going to be more difficult than this one. I thought my relationship with President Putin would give us a, much easier road. But there's tremendous hatred between Zelensky and Putin. Tremendous hatred. I mean, it's a shame, but it's taken longer than we thought. I did call up President Putin, and he's agreed. He's put it out too. They have the same cold wave that we do. Maybe different because it's pretty far away, but it's the equivalent. And Ukraine's a very cold country. It's much colder than us. It's colder than, they say, on average, it's Canada or colder. And on top of that, they have a tremendous cold wave. And I asked him if he wouldn't shoot for a period of 1 week, no missiles going into Kiev or any other towns, and he's agreed to do it. So it's something.
What about Iran's nuclear program? Do you think Mr. Witkoff can get a deal on that?
Well, we're talking about that. We have ships heading to Iran right now, big ones, biggest and the best. And we have talks going on with Iran. We'll see how it all works out.
Mr. President, when did we speak with
Mr.
Putin?
President, the Pentagon released National Defense Strategy last week, and it says...
Where are you from with that nice
I'm from Europe, from Lithuania, Baltic states.
Good.
National Defense Strategy says that U.S. will provide critical but only limited support for European defense. What does that mean, limited support? Will the U.S. still provide...
Well, we get along very well with Europe. I do. Because, don't forget, I got the GDP lifted from 2% to 5%. Nobody thought that could be possible. And they're giving us a lot of that money. We have the best military equipment. We're selling it to NATO. But I get along very well. But Europe has to be careful because, there are those that say it's no longer recognizable between immigration and energy. It's... There's so much potential. In UK, you have the North Sea oil, and they basically closed it down. And then they buy energy from Norway, which is the North Sea oil. So you figure that when Norway's got trillions of dollars, they have to be careful. You need energy, and you can't do the windmills because the windmills, you're supposed to make money with energy, not lose money. So I'm very disappointed. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe. And they have to be very careful. They're at a tipping point. You have tremendous immigration problems, and you have tremendous energy problems. It's a bad combination. So.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. Kristi Noem just announced that you're deploying body cameras to Minneapolis. What's your thinking behind this decision, and do you want to see this?
Well, it wasn't my decision. I would have, I leave it to her. They generally tend to be good for law enforcement because people can't lie about what's happening. So it's, generally speaking, I think 80% good for law enforcement. But if she wants to do that, I'm okay with it. Remember one thing, we closed the border. I got elected on a disastrous border. And we have nobody coming in through our border anymore. We had 25 million people come in 4 years through our border. Many of them were murderers and drug dealers and mentally insane from mental institutions and insane asylums. And now we don't have anybody coming in. for 9 months now. I mean, they actually report zero. We have 0 people coming in, which I find hard to believe, but the Democrats do that report. They tend to be left-leaning that do that report. So I assume it's true. And if it's not, it's a very tiny amount of people. But we basically have a tremendously perfect, strong border. And also crime levels are at the lowest point they've been in 125 years. Since 1900, we have the best numbers. And that's despite the fact that we had a lot of criminals and murderers. 11,888 murderers came in. And we have the lowest numbers that we've had in 125 years. So, we're doing a good job. If she wants to do the camera thing, that's okay with me.
Mr. President, there was one homicide in D.C. during January. Do you think this is due to your efforts, and do you think blue states should see this as a sign that they should cooperate with you?
Well, if there was one, I mean, we haven't had one in a long time. D.C. has become a very safe. There was an in-house homicide. It was in-house. It was a dispute within a family. We have had virtually no crime in D.C. D.C. is now considered a very safe place, and it should be. It's our nation's capital. And we sent in the soldiers. I read the Washington Post this week, and it was incredible. They were trying to determine how did we get so low numbers? The low numbers in D.C. because we have very little crime, if any. And they talked about everything except for the fact that we put our National Guard and great soldiers inside our city. They didn't want to mention that. It's how dishonest. Because if we didn't do that, you'd have tremendous crime in D.C. And I get thanked every single day by people that work in the White House. People, young ladies, men, they come up, thank you, sir, for making D.C. so safe. They walk to work now. A year and a half ago, they wouldn't have walked to work. They would have been killed or mugged or something would have happened to them. So it's, it's a great honor, but you got to read the story in the Washington Post. They do it. Crime is way down in D.C. Now, what's the reason for it? The reason for it is we have very big, strong, good-looking soldiers standing around. And I think they make the place look better. But this is our capital, and we have a very safe capital. We had a very dangerous capital before. Yeah, please.
Sir, yesterday you said you were speaking to people about Cuba to reach an agreement. What sort of agreement are you hoping to reach? Is that with the Cuban government?
Well, it's a failed nation now, and they're not getting any money from Venezuela, and they're not getting any money from anywhere. It's a failed nation. Mexico is going to cease sending them oil. So I'd like to take care of the people that are here from Cuba. You know, we have many people that came from Cuba that were thrown out of Cuba or that fled Cuba. I mean, they came over on rafts. They went through shark-infested waters. I don't know how they did it. And it was many years ago. Many would like to go back. Many would like to at least visit their relatives. And I think we're at a pretty close point. We are dealing with the Cuban leaders right now.
Mr. President, the Wall Street Journal reported that the royal family of Abu Dhabi invested hundreds of millions of dollars in your World Liberty Financial. Can you explain why you decided to take that investment? Was that a transaction?
Well, I don't know about it. I know that crypto is a big thing, and they like it. A lot of people like it. The people behind me like it. My sons are handling that. My family is handling it. And I guess they get investments from different people, but I'm not. I have all I can handle right now with Iran and with Russia and Ukraine and with all the things we're doing. So I don't know exactly, other than, I'm a big crypto person. I'm the one that probably helped crypto more than anybody because I believe in it. And the reason I believe in it is because if we don't do it, Scott, I think we can say then China's going to do it. Right? Then China's going to do it. And it's just like AI. We're leading AI by a lot. And if we weren't leading, China would have led. They're very capable. They're very good. What do you have to say about that?
You've made America the digital asset capital of the world. We did the Genius Act for stable coins. Many of the people standing up here are working on the Clarity Bill to
I hope that gets done.
Market structure,
yeah.
And we're bringing U.S. best practices to an exciting new industry, digital assets, innovation, and it spreads everywhere. So the U.S.
And do you agree that if we didn't do it, China and others would, but China would?
Oh, China would have had the lead, and then others around the world in terrible jurisdictions would have been doing it.
And on Iran, sir, can you say what your threshold military action is?
Well, I can't tell you what I'm going to do because right now, we have a tremendous force going there, just like we did in Venezuela, even bigger. and they'll be there soon. And I'd like to see a deal negotiated. I don't know that that's going to happen, but I mean, if I knew, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't tell you. I'd be very foolish if I would tell you. But right now, we're talking to them. We're talking to Iran, and if we could work something out, that'd be great. And if we can't, probably bad things would happen. Yeah, please.
On the government shutdown, do you think there could be a resolution to this issue? And have you gotten assurances from House Republicans?
Well, I spoke with Speaker Johnson. I spoke with Leader Thune, and I think they're pretty close to a resolution. You know, we were at 5.6% GDP, and we lost 1.5 points because of the 42-day shutdown. Think of that. We would have been at 7. Nobody ever saw a number like 7. And I think, Howard, probably 1.5 points was the number, right?
1.5 for the shutdown. Exactly right.
And it's very bad for our country. But despite that, we have the highest numbers we've ever had. You know, we're doing well. We're going right through it. But I will say that I spoke with Senator Schumer numerous times, and I don't think they want to see a shutdown either.
Mr. President, are you going to sue Trevor Noah? Last night in a post, you alluded that something could be coming.
Yeah, well, he said that I spent time on Jeffrey Epstein's island. I didn't. I mean, he's a lightweight, this guy. He's a terrible, I think he's terrible. I thought he did a terrible job at the Grammys. I thought the whole Grammys was terrible. I watched part of it. It's not watchable. But he was a lousy host. I'd say not as bad as Jimmy Kimmel, but pretty close. And no, he made a statement about me and Jeffrey Epstein. I have nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. And in fact, if you look at the DOJ, they announced, they released 3 million pages. It's like this is all they're supposed to be doing. And frankly, the DOJ, I think, should just say, we have other things to do, because that whole thing has turned out, I mean, other than Bill Clinton and, Bill Gates and lots of people that there are a lot of questions about it, but nothing on me. But it was even sort of better than that, because they found that Jeffrey Epstein and this sleazebag writer named Michael Wolff were conspiring against Donald Trump to lose the election. So Epstein was conspiring with a writer for me to lose the election. So right there, you know that I had nothing to do with this guy. But yeah, it's a terrible thing. The amount of time that's being wasted. You know, when Epstein was alive, like 10 years ago, nobody cared about it. But they're only doing it. But now it's really hitting back on them because Bill Clinton is such a big part of it. The Democrats are pushing it. And the problem is that it's turning out to be the Democrats that were with and conspired with Epstein. So I think you're probably going to see a little pullback from them. But think of it, they were working together to try and help me lose the election. But this is the Oval Office, so I guess that didn't work out too well. Okay, one more question.
Mr. President, do you have an update on U.S. troop level in Europe? Are you planning any force reductions?
No, we have a great relationship with Europe. We have a great relationship with our troops. You know, one of the best things that I can say is that if you go back a year and a half ago, so I'm running for election, they had the worst recruitment numbers in the history of our country. Nobody wanted to join the military, or nobody wanted to join the police. Nobody wanted to join the fire departments. We couldn't get anybody to be a proud member of our country. And now, Doug, as I told you before, now we have the best recruiting numbers that we've ever had in our military. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force we love, and Coast Guard. I love the Space Force, it's doing great. But now we have waiting lists on everybody wants to join. You know why? Because people are proud of our country, because our country is doing great. I think Mary can say the same thing. You had lots of people not working so well, and now you just wish you could get them in faster. I know that it's hard to get them.
Yeah, we continue to bring people in and have training programs. We're
Right.
investing in the U.S.
Training
workforce.
people.
Yes.
But 2 years ago, you didn't see anything like this. It's amazing what's happened. So we have the #1 in the history of our country. We've never had more people that want to join our armed forces than we do right now. And a year and a half ago, nobody wanted to join. They were embarrassed by our country. They were embarrassed by our leadership. And now they're proud of our country. And they're very proud of our leadership. And a lot of the leadership is right behind me. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
Began with the extremists hold
What's up, chat? What's up, chat? Hello, everybody. How everybody doing? We got 395 people in the building. Part 2 of the show. Hakeem Jeffries is going to talk about the shutdown and what's going on with the negotiations. I appreciate everybody for joining. There's a lot of people commenting, and we want to run the show in an effective way because a lot of people want to hear what the president and what Hakeem Jeffries has to say. Now we in between the other part of the show. I appreciate y'all for joining. Everybody that's here. We got 366 people in the building. Appreciate y'all for joining. If you're just not joining, that Trump segment right there was about the stockpiles of minerals, right? A $12 billion seed, $12 billion investment into minerals. We all know what minerals are, but they brought up a new one tonight, which I really don't think about that much: magnets. So America is trying to get all the minerals, to try to get ahead of China, which he said that they're already ahead of China, but me personally, Chad, I think we are behind China. We're behind China in AI, and I also think we are behind China when it comes to these mineral rights. So that's what that segment was about, Chad. If you was paying attention, that's what it's about. So with that being said, we're going to continue with part 2, the other half of the show, which is Hakeem Jeffries. So if you're just not joining, appreciate you for joining. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and we finna keep it going. Thank y'all for joining. Hope y'all having a great night. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. This is the Freedom of Speech channel. This is the Freedom of Speech channel. You can come over here and speak your mind without getting blocked. You can come over here and disagree with the host without getting put in time out. Yes, this is the Freedom of Speech channel. Over here, everyone has an opinion. As long as you are not disrespectful and you say your comment and you speak your mind in a respectful way. So with that being said, chat, I appreciate y'all for joining. Hit the subscribe button as we carry on with the show. Here we go, chat. Thank y'all for joining. Here we go.
Majority of any party since the Great Depression in 1930. And later on today, as a result of the victory by Christian Menifee, who we congratulate on this significant accomplishment, that narrow Republican majority will get even narrower. And the question for Republicans will continue to be, are you going to double and triple down on your extremism, which is getting you nowhere with the American people? Or try to find a bipartisan path forward to actually address the issues that matter when it comes to making life better for everyday Americans? House Democrats are going to continue to fight hard to lower the high cost of living, to fix our broken healthcare system, and to clean up corruption everywhere that it is found in this town. Republican policies on the economy have been a failure. Republican policies on health care have been a failure. And Republican policies on immigration enforcement have been a complete and total failure. Taxpayer dollars should not be spent to brutalize and kill American citizens. Taxpayer dollars should be spent to make life more affordable for everyday Americans. Something that Republicans have refused to do from the very beginning of Donald Trump being sworn into office last January. Donald Trump and Republicans promised that they were going to lower the high cost of living in the United States of America on day one. That's what they promised. They lied to the American people. Costs haven't gone down, costs have gone up across the board. Housing costs out of control, grocery costs out of control, utility bills out of control, child care costs out of control, and health care costs out of control. Republicans have refused to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits in the Senate, and as a result, tens of millions of Americans are now experiencing dramatically increased health insurance premiums. In some cases, the monthly costs have increased by $1,000 or $2,000 per month. That is completely and totally unacceptable. Brought to you by the Republican Party. At the same time, it's Republicans, led by Donald Trump, who in their one big ugly bill And why did they do all of that? For at least two reasons. So they could provide massive tax breaks to their billionaire donors, and at the same time, create a $191 billion slush fund that went to the Department of Homeland Security, including $75 billion to ICE, so that masked agents could unleash brutality and lawlessness on the American people. Everyday Americans have had enough with the failed policies of Donald Trump and Republicans in the House and the Senate. And the only real question that needs to be answered right now is, when will Republicans have enough with the extremism and the cruelty and the chaos and the corruption that has failed the American people? Questions?
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Is there any scenario where Democrats would help the Speaker if he can't get the votes for this funding bill on his own?
Republicans have a responsibility to move the rule, which, by the way, includes a wide variety of other issues that we strongly disagree with, including their efforts to weaponize the criminal contempt process so they can create a distraction from the Department of Justice continuing to hide the Epstein files. And so it's hard to imagine a scenario where Democrats are going to provide Republicans who spent all last year lecturing us about the fact that they had some big, massive mandate. Really? You had a 3-seat majority.
Hey, what's
that
up,
as of
Trump
this evening
Joy?
will be a 2-seat majority.
Thank you for
the
joining.
narrowest one since 1930. Spent all year lying to the American people, but pretending, apparently some of them believe it, that the results of the 2024 election represented a dramatic shift in how the American people viewed the Republican Party.
What's up, chat? Everybody that's joining, do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel. I need everybody to do me a huge favor at this time. Hit that subscribe button for me and turn on all notification bells so you know whenever we go live.
And the Democratic Party. What have the results of the last year said about that conclusion? What have the results of Saturday night, deep in the heart of Texas, said about the Republican conclusion? That somehow we were in the midst of some dramatic MAGA makeover. It was a lie then, it's a lie today, and it certainly will be proven to be a lie in November.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. During the last government shutdown, you spoke about how the American people were on your side. You cited polling, anecdotal evidence from all of the travel that you've done across the country. Did the last shutdown and the public sentiment behind it, does that have any bearing on this particular partial shutdown, how Democrats are approaching it? Do you believe that the same way you felt the American people were on your side over the healthcare fight, they're with you in this ICE debate? Does that somehow play into the calculus that you all are thinking about as you all figure out how to move forward?
Well, Democrats clearly had the high ground as it relates to standing on the side of the American people and pushing to fix our broken healthcare system and address the Republican healthcare crisis, which is ongoing.
Trumpet Joe, thanks for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. Everybody that's been subscribing to the channel, thank y'all. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me, chat.
And that work is ongoing. And John Thune needs to stop erecting procedural hurdles and take up the House-passed bill that will allow for a straightforward extension for 3 years of the Affordable Care Act tax credits to benefit working families, middle-class families, and everyday Americans. In the same way that we had the high ground in standing on the side of the American people, and will continue to do so as it relates to health care, we clearly have the high ground in standing on the side of the American people with respect to ICE. ICE and the Department of Homeland Security need to dramatically change. And absent that, then a full-year appropriations bill is in deep trouble because the American people are correctly demanding accountability. The American people want to see the mask come off. The American people want to see body cameras turned on and mandated. The American people want to see judicial warrants before ICE or DHS officers can storm homes, harass people violently on the streets of America, or rip people out of their cars. The American people want to see independent investigations so that if ICE or DHS officers break the law, they are held accountable. This concept of absolute immunity is absolute absurdity, because the American people know that if you break the law in the United States of America, you should be held accountable. Nobody is above the law. ICE officers should be held to the same standards as every other member of law enforcement in the country who put their lives on the line for us, law enforcement officers, police officers at home in New York and across the country. And ICE needs to be reined in. They're out of control. They need to be brought to heel so that there is a level of accountability and professionalism that the American people are demanding. Those are just a few of the issues that are absolute must-haves in advance of the Congress taking up a full-year appropriations bill as it relates to DHS funding.
Mr. Jeffries, on this bill, on the actual vote for passage, will you vote for it, and will you group your members on it?
We have a leadership meeting later on today where we'll have a discussion about it. We had a caucus meeting yesterday. There was a diversity of perspectives about how to move forward on this particular bill, but it's the 5 bipartisan bills where there's strong Democratic support, and of course, a variety of perspectives as it relates to the 2-week continuing resolution, the 2-week funding freeze related to DHS. So we'll continue those conversations in the leadership meeting today at 5:15. And then, of course, we'll have a full and robust discussion tomorrow morning at caucus. Thanks. Yeah, second row. I'll get back to you. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, sir. On the subject of the contempt resolutions the House is set to vote on this week, what do you make of the fact that a number of members of your caucus voted with Republicans in committee, and do you plan on whipping against those resolutions this week?
Well, those decisions, of course, will be articulated by the Democratic whip, Catherine Clark, at the appropriate time. It's my expectation we'll have a discussion tomorrow as well about these so-called criminal contempt resolutions. House Republicans cannot be taken seriously on this issue. The Department of Justice is now withholding, in violation of the law, more than 3 million documents related to the Epstein files. More than 3 million documents. And we don't hear a peep from James Comer or any Republicans about the failure of the Department of Justice to comply with a law, as well as a subpoena that had been previously issued in a bipartisan way. I'm a hard no on the shenanigans of House Republicans. I don't believe it's serious. And I also think that there have been ongoing discussions by the Clintons and their lawyers to testify that have been repeatedly, apparently, rejected by House Republicans on the Oversight Committee because they don't want a serious interview, they want a charade. And it's not something that I'm down with.
On the weekend shows, you talked about wanting a clear path for this, to know that the Trump administration is serious about working on this funding bill. What does that look like? Do you want to speak to President Trump? What do you need to have that clear path?
Well, Speaker Johnson and I have been in close communication. I've also been in close communication with Leader Schumer. Still haven't seen a clear path articulated, an ironclad path articulated by the Trump administration related to the type of dramatic changes that are necessary in order to rein ICE in. It's out of control, and the American people know it, as evidenced in public opinion survey after public opinion survey after public opinion survey, including amongst Donald Trump supporters. They know he's gone too far. The American people know that Donald Trump lied to them. He said, we're going to target violent felons. Instead, they're targeting 5-year-old boys with Spider-Man backpacks. They're horrifying the American people. And so Democrats are committed to this fight. And again, we've made clear, line in the sand, red line. We've articulated the things that will be necessary for there to be a full-year appropriations bill connected to ICE funding, because we're standing on the side of the American people, some of whom have been killed in cold blood by ICE in plain sight, horrifying the American people. Thanks.
Good afternoon. Thank you. You say that your side won't help on the rule, but it sounds like some Democrats might be willing to vote yes on the bill. That's okay?
I indicated there's a variety of different perspectives, and we'll continue to have that discussion.
And what's the issue with some of them saying yes because they want FEMA money, they have earmarked projects that are important to their districts, they're moderate Democrats from swing states?
You'll have to talk to them.
Well, but what's... So why is there a difference between the rule and the bill?
Republicans are in the majority in this institution that has now been around for more than 200 years. It's hard to cite an example where in an institution that is majoritarian in nature, as you know, where the minority steps in to help the majority pass a rule when, as I've indicated to you, there are multiple bills within that rule that we strongly disagree with and do not support, separate and apart from the appropriations issue. I mean, that's not too difficult to contemplate. On rare occasions have we stepped in to deal with Republican dysfunction, including in the last Congress, where it related to making sure that we funded our ally, Ukraine, because we had to stop the pro-Putin caucus within the House Republican Conference from undermining the free world, our values, democracy, freedom, and truth, as opposed to continuing to play footsie with Vladimir Putin. That was a rare occasion. Hard to cite another example in the last few Congresses that actually involved Democrats stepping in to help Republicans govern an institution when Mike Johnson and my Republican colleagues have spent the last year lecturing the country that they have some massive mandate. If they have some massive mandate, then go pass your rule, which includes toxic bills that we don't support. Don't come to us unless you actually want to negotiate on the substance of getting things done that make life better for the American people. Ariana.
You mentioned Texas. I wanted to ask
Yes, the Republicans done effed up in Texas, and they know it. We knew it months ago. And it's because of a variety of reasons. First of all, they were never going to get 5 seats. But they created a scenario where they tried to take 5 seats away from Democrats, didn't think that we were going to respond. California responds decisively, and we will pick up 5 seats as a result of Prop 50 in California. And it remains to be seen what happens in Texas. I can guarantee you they won't win 5 seats. They're going to struggle to win 3 based on 2024 performance, let alone what we've seen literally over the last year. And let me congratulate Taylor Remmett, who ran an extraordinary campaign. It was a decisive victory. It was a shellacking for Republicans in Texas that even caught Ron DeSantis' attention. They can't ignore it. And by the way, Republicans have been losing elections and Democrats have been winning elections since January of last year. Irrefutable fact. This has now gone on for 13 consecutive months. And during the entirety of the Trump presidency, Democrats haven't lost a single meaningful election. Not one. Not one. We won the Iowa special election in January. That was a district that Trump had just won by 20 points, a state Senate seat in Iowa. Decisively won an election in February for the Westchester County Executive in a district partially represented by Mike Lawler. In March, we won a state Senate race in Pennsylvania in a part of the Commonwealth where we hadn't had representation in over 100 years. It was a district that Donald Trump had just won by 15 points. In April of last year, we won a special election in the Wisconsin State Supreme Court contest by over 11 points in a state that Donald Trump had just won, where Elon Musk spent over $25 million. In May, for the first time in 12 years, we won the mayor race in Omaha, Nebraska, and elected an African American for the first time ever in the history of that great state. In the off-year elections in November, we won all over the country, in Virginia, in New Jersey, in New York, flipped seats in Mississippi to break the Republican supermajority in the state Senate, won 3 state Supreme Court races in Pennsylvania, won statewide in Georgia for the first time in 20 years, crushed it in California with Prop 50. Democrats in the off-year elections won up and down the ballot across the country, in statewide races, in county legislative races, and at all points in between. And then in December of last year, we won the mayor's race in Miami for the first time in almost 30 years. Crushed the Republican opposition. And then 2 days ago, in Texas, this is extraordinary. In a district that Donald Trump won by 17 points, the Democrat wins by 14 points. That's a 31-point swing. No one's ever seen anything like that in modern American political history. Democrats are doing that. A 50-point swing in Texas amongst Hispanic voters. And state Senate districts in Texas aren't small. They're bigger than congressional districts. That has sent a chill down the spine of every single House Republican in Texas and across the country. And it gets worse for them because Republicans spent over $2.4 million to try to hold a seat that Donald Trump had just won by 17 points, and the Democrats spent about $400,000. outspent 6-1 and crushed the Republican extremists. At what point will Republican extremists come to the conclusion that your reach ain't long enough and your peeps ain't strong enough? You are on the verge of losing control of the House of Representatives in November. And
we got over 500 people in the building. Thank y'all for joining. Hit the subscribe button at this time. We got 500 people in the building. Need you to do us a huge favor and subscribe to the channel and cut on all notifications.
the Senate is looking increasingly shaky as well. Republicans have failed. Democrats are on the move because the American people have had enough.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Direct duty plans to force a vote to expel Congresswoman McCormick this week, who has been indicted for allegedly stealing federal funds. What is House Democratic leadership's stand here? Are you opposing this effort and standing against this?
I mentioned on Friday that Congresswoman Shafrelis McCormick is entitled to the presumption of innocence like every other American. I'm a hard no as it relates to the effort to expel her, and it's going to fail. Thanks.
Thank you. If House Republicans have the same Act 2 distills funding language, are Democrats prepared for a government shutdown?
Sound like he's confident, chat. Sounds like he's confident that they're going to win the midterms. He sounds real confident. Real confident. But if you have not subscribed to the channel at this time, please subscribe to the channel as we get ready to end the show. It's been a good show, chat. We had 2 good segments. We did a WW on the stream, W on the stream. Appreciate y'all for joining. Hope everybody having a great night. I am the host of One and Only Stock Sniper. I try to do this every single night. Let everybody know what's really going on. And guess what? This is the Freedom of Speech channel. So if you had a good time tonight, guess what? Subscribe to the channel and cut on the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we go live. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all, chat. Everybody that came rocked with me, I love and I appreciate y'all. This is the Freedom of Speech channel. This is the Freedom of Speech channel. So at this time, I need all 250 people to subscribe to the channel and hit on the notification bell so you'll know when the livest chat on YouTube is on. So I appreciate y'all for joining me. Y'all have a great night. And tomorrow, we got another great show. So subscribe to the channel and hope to see you tomorrow night on the next show. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. To the next one, I'm out. I love y'all, chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell.